Hey guys, I know I am so late with this rate review, but we have to wait like 13 more days anyway, so honestly I could have put this rain review up anytime before the new episode appears. So yeah. And how late I am, you might think that I was like I hated this episode, but the exact opposite. Like I get into the episode itself, I loved this episode, not just for the reasons you might think, because things actually happened, decisions were made. Finally, I'm just like, finally! This episode made me so happy, guys. Not just as a Mondi shipper, but as just a person who likes good television. So yeah, I'm gonna get into the episode, and yeah. Okay. Mary's mother, Marie de Guise, has traveled from Scotland to her brother's funeral, faking her tears and putting on a show like everyone else. Her shiva lasts about 7 seconds before she's chastising Mary for not only failing to produce an heir, but also failing to produce a husband in her bed every night. Marie de Guise is insistent that Mary jump into bed or risk losing Scotland to Queen Elizabeth. Mary's ready to give it a shot, but Francis doesn't think they should reunite under straitened circumstances. Now, okay, Marie de Guise, she was pretty kind of harsh at this, but it's like, well, first, but she doesn't know what Mary went through, but Mary still needs to try to produce an heir. I actually am agreeing with Francis for once. It's like he doesn't want to put Francis doesn't want to push Mary, and understandable. I mean, she may be feeling better every episode, but the rape will always be at the back of her head. So yeah. No. Catherine, who has become either extremely understanding as of late or just looks that way compared to Marie de Guise, reminds her son to make sure there are witnesses to see him enter Mary's chambers. She also informs him that if Mary wants them to lead separate lives, he should for once think about what makes him happy. Agreed. Catherine was actually back. This is the Catherine I was missing. I mean, she was kind of back in the last episode before this one, but this episode, she's back. It's finally, I've been needing that, and I have to say, I agree. At least, I don't care about Francis, but he needs to stop, waiting on Mary. He just needs to do something and make himself happy. Even if it means he's not with Mary, I honestly don't care whether he's happy or not, but he needs to start doing that because it's obvious she doesn't care about Francis anymore. Okay. Speaking of Lola, she's ecstatic to learn that Francis has arranged an engagement for their son John with the infant daughter of the Duke and Duchess of Habsburg. The engagement will ensure John's safety no matter what happens to Francis, but first the couple want to meet Lola. Obviously, they have to see, but honestly, baby John, this bastard baby, he never existed in history, so honestly, this marriage is gonna fall through, and honestly, no, actually, I will get to my predictions at the end of the episode, so yeah. Okay, speaking of women being judged for their acts of sin, Greer is repaying for her friend Charlene with a wig after her last client cut her off all her hair. She's also helping Charlene drum up some new business by dressing her as a lady and sending her to a fancy party. Charlene comes back with enough money to cover 2 months' rent and begs Greer to help her and the other girls attend more parties and make more money. So Lady Greer is now Madame Greer. Okay, honestly, the episode before this, I was like, I didn't care about the Greer storyline, and it took up a good 10 to 15 minutes of the episode. I'm like, but this little section only took up 2 or 3 minutes, and it was fine. It's like, I obviously want to see Greer, but I don't need to see her for a big chunk of an episode. If I see her for a couple scenes, then I'm fine. And yeah, though I don't think it's gonna. From looking at the the next episode's plot, it looks like Greer will not be. She won't be a madam for long. Thank God. I'm tired of the storyline, but it didn't bother me this episode. Okay, Antoine is ramping up his plan of attack on Bash's life, and Kenna remains his #1 target. He enlists her help to plan a party and pays her handsomely, which of course infuriates Bash. Kenna promises she can handle herself around Antoine and can't spend another day sitting around waiting for Bash to come home. Okay. And where's Bash out today? Out chasing ghosts. Yeah. I am tired of Kenna just sitting. Basically, Bash and Kenna's whole storyline this season has been Bash goes off to do something noble, and then Kenna sits around waiting. Then Bash comes back, and he chastises Kenna not to be so selfish. And then Kenna's like, I want you here with me, you know? It's like, it's been going back and forth this whole season, and maybe now it'll finally stop, because I'm getting tired of it. It's so tiring, and Bash has basically become an irrelevant character. Like, someone said this in like a comment, and I'm like, I would agree. Like, he'll go off and do something noble for an episode, and then for another episode, he'll be telling Kenna not to be so selfish, telling her, know what, and then he'll go back and do something noble, and back and forth. I'm just like, make Bash do something interesting. He was my favorite character in season 1. And now it's like he's like my 8th or 9th favorite character. I'm just like, give him something to do, for something else to do, you know? His storyline is so boring. But yeah. So yeah. And yeah. I actually liked Kenna this episode, which is surprising. So yeah. Okay, the woman in white who helped the Greek man come back from the dead has been spotted again. This time she saved the sick boy from the brink of death, blinding his brother in the process. Bash finds the woman in a convent, and she swears she's only trying to help people close to death, explaining that she can feel a person's past or future pain. She does a reading for Bash and reveals his broken heart will soon be broken by the loss of a loved one. It's 1560. Anyone could die any minute, so yeah. Yeah, it's either, like, first of all, I don't think he even cares about Mary anymore, so obviously, and I'm not worried about her, but yeah, so basically, we will lose either Francis or Kenna, and, like, there's, like, a 5% chance it could be Kenna, like, down here, but there's, like, a 95% chance it'll be Francis, and I'm thinking it will be Francis, so I don't think we're going to have Francis left for long. What? The next episode is episode 16, so we have 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So basically we have 7 episodes for sure left with Francis. So yeah, they could kill him off, like, at the end of the season. So if he doesn't get killed off, then he'll be killed off in season 3. But enjoy him while he lasts, guys, because Francis doesn't have long. So yeah. Okay, Kenna's late finishing the decorations in the party, and Antoine offers her one of his wife's dresses, also telling Kenna that he'll send word to Bash to meet her at the party. What happens? Bash gets drunk while waiting for Kenna, and then shows up at the party and makes a scene. This was like, I didn't like seeing this side of Bash, like the jealousy. I'm just like, it's not fitting in Bash, and he just, with each episode, I am less and less interested in Bash as a character. I'm just like, he's there. Like, can he go? I liked him better when he was single. But also, first of all, Kenna was wearing this cheetah print dress when she was planning the party. I was like, I love the fashion, and I love it. I really don't have complaints as of late, but animal print, no. I'm just like, no animal print, no strapless gowns, and no all white gowns for Mary. So that's all I'm asking in the fashion, but you know, whatever. But she does end up wearing this ball gown dress that apparently belongs to Antoine's wife, the queen, though we don't see her. And she kind of looked beautiful. It was so nice to see Kenna in, like, a ball gown dress and not in her usual flowy, like, kind of hippie gowns. Though those gowns are gorgeous, but it's nice to see Kenna, like, have a different fashion sense. So, yeah. Okay, the next day, Antoine approaches Kenna with an offer. His wife Jean is dying, and when she passes, he wants to marry Kenna and make her a queen. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. First of all, Antoine is the king consort. He married Jean, the Queen of Navarre. She was the queen in her own right. She inherited the crown from her father, who was actually married to Francis the First of France's sister. which is the current King Francis's grandfather. So yeah, they're all kin. But yeah, so if honestly, the next king of Navarre is Antoine and Jean's son Henry. So yeah. But anyways, I don't think this is gonna happen. Obviously, for the show, there's like a we can at least think it won't end up happening, but we can at least think it's gonna happen. But then something will happen to make it not happen. So basically, Kenna she has a choice. She either stay with Bash or become queen, and I have to say Antoine's offer is better, and Bash has not really been there for her lately. Like, seriously. So, and also this is so weird because I'm starting to like Kenna and I'm starting to not like Bash. I'm like, I never thought this would happen, but the writers just changed up so much this season. I'm just like, I mean, I love it, and then there's some things I'm like, oh, I wish they could go back to season 1 for, like, But yeah, I still think season 2 is far superior to season 1. But anyways, yeah, okay. Lola's preparing to meet her son's future in-laws when she gets derailed by Marie de Guise. The older Mary was apparently working on a speech to deliver Lola, chastising her for getting knocked up by Francis. It's a harsh speech, but kind of fair. She did sleep with her best friend and her queen's love. So yeah. Honestly, that speech Marie de Guise gave Lola was very fair. It was like, I mean, obviously Lola has paid for her mistakes, and like, I'm glad they don't bring it up much, but still, like, Lola did the wrong thing. She really did the wrong thing. So yeah. Okay, Lola calms her nerves by taking a swig from the wine glass Marie de Guise was drinking from, and promptly shows up to Antoine's party high as a kite. In one evening, Lola insults the baby her son is to marry in front of the baby's parents. They were frickin' ugly. Tells Francis he's a good kisser. Ew. And throws herself at Narcisse. To his credit, Narcisse sees that Lola is on opiates and sends her to a room with a nurse. Oh yeah. I love Narcisse. It's like, he's such a great villain, but then he's still like an honorable guy. It's like, he's not gonna take advantage of Lola when she's all high. I love that. I love Narcisse anymore. And I have to say, I liked Lola in this episode. She was actually kind of funny. Kind of funny. The comedy in this show does not work. It does not work. But they do have their comedy moments every once in a while, and this was pretty good. It was like, so yeah. I love Narcisse. Okay. Mary and Francis are finally gonna have their night of awkward passion, but Mary can't bring herself to hear Francis breathing. Mary tells Francis again to take a lover and lead his own life, and that's when it finally hits him. Mary's in love with Conde and wants to lead a separate life with him. So yeah, finally, I mean, finally it's Francis knows about her feelings for Conde for sure, and it's like, finally! And I do want Francis to go to someone else and Mary to go to Conde. I know they're married, and I'm usually one to root for the married couple in shows, but in this situation, it's a period drama. I know they were in love when they married, but they didn't marry for love. They married because they had to, and it's just like, it's a different situation. Plus, they're freaking, like, teenagers. I just got done being a teenager, but I'm still like, teenagers are stupid. They don't know what to do. They like can't make up their minds, and you don't like what Mary and Francis were 15 when they fell in love. Most people don't fall in love, stay in love with the same person they were in love with when they were 15. Like, I'm sorry. So yeah, I mean, teenagers are idiots. I just got done being a teenager. I'm glad I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm 20. So yeah, but yeah, I made stupid mistakes as a teenager, and yeah, but yeah, people seem to forget that they're teenagers, and so yeah, but yeah, I'm glad things were finally said. I think Mary and Francis it'll finally separate those. I know they're still gonna be married because divorce was not an easy thing to get back then, and they never divorced in history, so yeah. They're gonna stay married. So yeah. That was good to hear. Okay, after hearing about Lola's sickness, Mary demands to know why her mother is taking opiates. Marie de Guise admits that she's dying and needs the drugs to get her through the pain. She wants to see her daughter produce an heir before she dies, so that she'll know Mary's claim to Scotland will be safe from Queen Elizabeth. But I think we all know Mary will never be safe. After, so yeah, this was great. This was great. Mary finally, she was the Mary we all know and love. It's like she took a stand in, but she did have a tender moment with her mother. I'm like, this is probably the last tender moment she'll ever get with her mother, because this is probably the last time we'll ever see Marie de Guise in reign. Because honestly, Marie de Guise, it's 1560 now. Marie de Guise died in like June of 1560, and then Francis died in December of 1560. So we're right on track. So yeah. So yeah, it was good we had this tender moment with Mary and Marie de Guise before Marie de Guise dies. So yeah. Okay. After learning of her mother's impending death and revealing her feelings for Condé to Francis, Mary gets a burst of courage and tells Condé she's returning to Scotland and wants him to join her as her lover. Okay, I know this is not going to happen. I mean, Mary lives in France from the time she's 5 to the time she's like 18. That's 13 years. And honestly, once she leaves France, she's never going to return. Basically, Francis dies in December 1560, and then she'll leave. She leaves like less than a year after that, and she'll remain in Scotland, and then she'll never go back to France. And then eventually she'll be imprisoned in England, and yeah. So yeah, it's right on track with the history though, and I don't think Condé's gonna end up going with her, but yeah, honestly, if we see Mary going to Scotland, it probably won't be until like at the end of season 3 or the beginning of season 4, because I have no doubt in my mind that there's gonna be a season 4. I'm like, yeah, there's gonna be a season 4. But we gotta get through season 2 first and start making preparations for season 3. So yeah. Yeah. So looking forward to seeing Scotland, because in Scotland there are gonna be all these awesome characters. I mean, we'll meet her half brother again, and like her future third husband, James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell. We'll meet a bunch of colorful characters. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah. Okay, while Condé is considering this proposal, Antoine finds him and tells him the good news. Queen Elizabeth wants to marry Condé. So, yeah. So that's the end of the episode. Condé has these decisions to make, and from the trailer, it looks like he's obviously choosing Mary. So I hope he tells her about Elizabeth's offer. But first of all, Condé and Elizabeth are not going to get married. Obviously, Elizabeth never never married in history, guys. She dated. That's what she did. She made it seem like she'd be interested in taking someone as a husband, but she'd never go through with it, and she remained a virgin queen. So yeah. But it'll be interesting because I know they're going to bring her in season 3. So yeah. So all in all, that was a great episode. And now I have my predictions. Francis is going to die by the end of season 2. The very last scene of season 2, we will see a glimpse of Elizabeth, plotting or doing something, which I'm excited to see. They better do her justice. Francis is going to try to move closer to Lola, but Lola's only going to see him as a friend, and she's going to try to get Francis and Mary back together. And yeah, I have a few other predictions, but they're I can't think of them right now. So I'll just, if I can think of them, I'll just make another rain-related video. But yeah. All in all, this was a very good episode. Thank you, Rain Riders. If you keep up videos like this, I will be happy. And yeah, because season 2 was so much better than season 1. And yeah, but I can't wait for the new episode. It looks amazing, and we're finally going to get a Mary Condé kiss, and maybe even a little bit more. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next review. Bye.